We know the terms of the exchange of 50 hostages. These are women and children. I know my son isn't part of this exchange. I don't know how long I should wait.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to a 4-day-long ceasefire in exchange for hostages. You just heard from one of the family members. Her son is being held in Hamas captivity. Humanitarian aid and the release of Palestinian prisoners are also on the table in exchange for those hostages and the ceasefire. It takes effect tomorrow at 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, and under that agreement, at least 50 hostages, all women and children, will be free. That means for family members like the one you just heard, it's still a waiting game. Our NewsNation newsmakers are here to have their say. Dr. Jamil why do I keep
Abdur-Rahman.
Dr. J.
They're keeping it in the prompter for me.
I'll say it next time.
My goodness. Okay, and Susan Guthrie and Kurt Bardella are here with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Kurt, I'm going to start with you because obviously this has been a highly polarizing conversation. There's been so much pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu. He had said many, many times before he would not agree to a ceasefire until all of the hostages are being released. How do you think this is being perceived globally and here in America?
Well, I think that they were able to reach this, 4-day ceasefire. It shows that there's some, bias towards acting responsibly. I think that in terms of the global community, this is something that's going to be looked upon as, okay, let's all take a breath, let's all take a beat. This is a good thing. Anytime that you can have a situation where, even if it's a short amount of time, violence can stop, hostages can be returned, that is positive. That's a step in a positive direction. That's a lot better than blowing up hospitals. So we'll take it right now.
Yeah. Well, I think the hospitals, that's a whole nother conversation, just with the actual evidence that there are tunnels, Hamas used tunnels and weaponry arsenals inside and underneath that hospital. But speaking of hospitals, we have Dr. J here. You and your brother have done relief work in the Middle East. Yeah. In terms of the Red Cross coordinating the exchange of these hostages, I mean, what do you believe, from your knowledge, will happen as they are handed over by Hamas? We don't know what condition they're in. We don't know. I would assume that the Hamas would give them over alive. But they'll be treated for sure.
Yeah, they'll be treated, and they're going to require a lot of both psychological and medical treatment. I think a lot of times people don't consider the psychological effect of what they're going through. Medically, they're going to need a lot of help. But psychologically, when you're away from your family, when there's all of the uncertainty of whether or not you'll be returned, whether or not you'll be returned in good shape, whether or not you're even going to live, I think that those are the issues that they're really going to have to deal with more than anything else, because I've seen a lot of evidence that potentially medically they've been taking decent care of people for the most part with the limited resources they have. And so I think it's the psychological effects that they're really going to have to address that a lot of times people don't consider.
Well, there are documented videos now that we're still waiting to see more of hostages inside of the hotels, the El Shifa hospital there in Gaza.
And I have to believe, too, even when we talk about them being released, there's also the psychological effect of we have family members who've gone back and others still have family members who are missing. I have to believe that you think that would be difficult for people to deal with as well.
Oh, and I would imagine right now, you have so many families waiting to see if their family members will be the ones who are going to be released, and then the additional trauma on the families who are not among the 50 that are released. So it's an ongoing re-traumatization for these families and for these people. And then you hear about things like survivor guilt. What I would imagine those who are released are going to feel, some ongoing trauma from that as well.
Yeah, and we're still, again, waiting for more information to come in. This is brand new as of this morning, that this hostage deal is done and that by Thanksgiving, some of these families are going to be reunited. Some Americans in that number. But it's right here at home where we're still dealing with the effects of this conflict. In New York City, I lived there for 5 years. I lived right near where they set up the Thanksgiving Day parade. 3.5 million people will watch the parade in person. Kurt, obviously we know holidays are rife with threats. I mean, this is when we often see some of these threats.
Right. I mean, we've been particularly living with this reality since September 11th, honestly.
Correct.
That anytime you have big congregating places in big cities particularly, the threat level's higher, the awareness is higher, the diligence is higher, and it should be. Hopefully, I have to say, whatever side you might be on, the worst thing you could do for your side, especially when it comes to this conflict, is to take an act of terror on American soil. That is the surest way to get almost everyone universally to line up against you. You will not be helping your cause if you think going down that road is somehow going to be the way to express your beliefs about what's happening right now in our world.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.